What is up, everybody? It's the Kid and Kam podcast. We back with another table talk with the NCAA. We got a couple topics. We got the QB rankings. We're gonna revisit it. Tell you how we feel about it now. The wide receiver rankings that has been anticipated by us, and the championship preview. This Oklahoma State, Jesus, Ohio State and Alabama matchup.
Sir. Wait, what did you just say? What did you mess up?
I wrote down OSU and I read it as Oklahoma State, other than Ohio State. But yeah, it's Ohio State and Alabama.
Oklahoma State in the championship soon? Question mark.
Anyways,
maybe Oklahoma.
These quarterback rankings, they got a lot of traction. We started getting a little bit of hate, but I don't think anybody realizes that these rankings were made in early December. Not recent.
When we first dropped the quarterback video, it only got I think 2 or 3. No, it was at like 200. It was at like 150,
it was at like
200 views.
No, it was 400. Because you called me, he's like...
No, because remember, at first, it didn't get as much traction. It sat at like 150. It just sat there. And then, I remember, because I was telling you, I was like, bro, this video is getting views for some reason. And then I remember it like passed the JT Daniels video, and I was like, yo, this video is literally going stupid right now. And it's like at 1.6K now.
Yeah, so and, thank you for watching the video. Thank you for the people that love it. For the people that are hating on us, this is why we're doing this right now. Okay, so my rankings... I had Zach Wilson at 1 just because of potential, not skill-wise. 2, Trevor Lawerence. He's possibly the greatest quarterback prospect coming to the draft. 3, I had Trey Lance. 4, I had Justin Fields. 5, I had Kyle Trask. 6, I had Mac Jones. Who did you have?
On the other hand, for me, my rankings went a little like Trey Lance at 6, Justin Fields at 5, Mac Jones at 4. It was Justin Fields at 3, Zach Wilson at 2. No. Who did I just say Justin Fields at 3? No, it was it was Trask at 3. No. Trask was at 2, Justin Fields was at 3, and then Trevor Lawerence was at 1. I deleted my rankings, so I had to like come up with them at the top of my head.
All right, so
those are different now. Fun fact.
Yeah, they're different. We kind of we ranked them for you. Going based off my last ranking, I could see where people were mad. Trey Lance only played 1 game, and I had him at 3. It's because you can't deny his success the year before. It's sort of like the Jamar Chase type thing, where this guy's good. It's just you don't have a lot of tape on him this year. Because Trey Lance only played 1 game. Jamar Chase played none. But we know Jamar Chase is a beast. But obviously there's probably some better wide receivers that we've seen this year. Possibly a tight end that we ranked in the wide receivers. Everybody knows that tight end. But, I mean, looking at it now, I'd move him around. That's why we re-ranked them. I could see where people were mad about the Justin Fields thing on mine. I could see where people were kind of upset about the Zach Wilson. Obviously, number 1 is not where most people would put that guy. I did it based on potential. I think if he's coached right, put in the right situation, he could dominate. And the reason I did have Trevor Lawerence at 2 was because he was supposed to go to the Jets. I thought the Jets were going to ruin his career. But, he's set up perfect now with the Jaguars. I think he has a perfect situation down there.
Him and DJ Chark about to be best friends.
And their running back, James Robinson, he's really good too. But anyways, how do you feel about the rankings now? Who'd you move around?
I moved around pretty much. Everyone's moved except for Trevor Lawerence. Trevor Lawerence is the only person in the exact same spot, and that's number 1.
Everyone moved for me.
Everyone else moved. Even Trevor Lawerence?
It
makes sense because I'm sure you had Zach Wilson at number 1.
Yeah, I moved Zach Wilson down to 2, put Trevor Lawerence at 1. It was mainly Trevor. You can't look. Trevor Lawerence is a great quarterback prospect. I did it because he's set up for greatness now. He's going to the Sunshine State. Sunshine to sunshine. We keep saying it. But, look, I think he has a perfect situation down there. I think he will blossom in Jacksonville. I think he will help this Jacksonville organization organization and team turn their whole franchise around. Trevor Lawerence, he's one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever come out of college, if not the greatest. There's no arguing that. But, Zach Wilson at 2, it's potential-wise. I think he could be like a Patrick Mahomes type guy, someone who's overlooked, could go early in the first round, could not. Sit him a year, and he could dominate. But who you got at number 2? You said you have Trevor Lawerence at 1?
Trevor Lawerence is definitely at number 1 for me. Number 2, I don't want to let that recency bias kick in, but I just can't deny that what I've seen from him recently has just been kind of good looking. Like, it looks like if it can translate into the NFL, this guy could be a threat, and that guy is former Georgia quarterback, now Ohio State legend, Justin Fields. I saw from PFF today, he is the only quarterback in Ohio State history to be graded at a 90 above, which is an elite level. And he's did it last year, and he's now done it this year. Only Ohio State quarterback ever. So I'm looking at, huh?
Dwayne Haskins didn't?
He did not. Apparently not.
I thought he dominated in college.
PFF slick dropping hints. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't playing elite in college, even though he was dropping touchdowns. Apparently, he wasn't playing that elite. Yeah, I like what I'm seeing from Justin Fields, man. And like that stat really just kind of woke me up. I'm like, well, maybe Justin Fields can be the first Ohio State quarterback to be the real deal. Because, we made that video saying most Ohio State quarterbacks are system guys. They don't translate well into the NFL. And I mean, Alabama looks like they were on that road, but then you got Tua, who looks like a guy who can definitely be a top quarterback, one of the top in the league one day, or at least the AFC. He won't be the best because you already know who the best is. I don't even want to say his name, but I feel like I have to. Patrick the GOAT Mahomes. Come on now.
Part of the dynasty.
But yeah, man, Justin Fields in this draft class, probably the best deep ball. He has, out of these top 6 quarterbacks right here, he possibly has the best arm.
I feel, yeah.
He could
throw the ball the first, 100%.
It's disgusting, man. I just love the way I think he threw a 60-yard touchdown to Olave, I believe it was, or Garrett Wilson. Is one or the other. It was a 60-yard touchdown. I'm talking about failing his hands in the back of the end zone on a streak route. I'm talking just absolutely beautiful.
Everybody was saying it was a moonshot.
Straight beautiful, dude. One of the best throws I've seen all season. I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing from Justin Fields. Like I said, if his success can translate into the NFL, this guy's a threat. People are gonna be happy to pick him up. He could be playing for the Jets.
Could be. There's a possibility there.
He could be headed to New York.
Who you got at 3?
Number 3, former I had Zach Wilson at number 2. He's now at number 3. Okay. I still like Zach Wilson as a quarterback, but he did slowly simmer down a bit as the season went on. He stopped flashing that Heisman winning, effort. Yeah. It kind of dropped him down to 8, I think in the final voting it was. I like Zach Wilson as a quarterback. I still think he'll be that dude in the NFL. I think he'll have possibly the best quarterback rookie season. I'm still saying that at this point right now. I still think Zach Wilson is that dude, but he's recently kind of skidded a bit, and it's not something I'm like, well, it should be scary. I think this guy will be a top 5 pick. I think he's still going to go top 5.
I think me and you both agreed that his best situation would probably be going to Washington. Yeah. But I don't think that's happening anymore. They just made the playoffs, so I don't think that's happening anymore.
Yeah,
they were projected to get him. They did have like a top 10 pick whenever we made the video, I think.
I'll tell you who did make the playoffs though in that in that division, who could definitely use Zach Wilson, who's got a quarterback on their team that's good, but it don't look like they can re-sign that boy.
Eagles.
Nah. Oh, actually, yeah, the Eagles too, but the Dallas, because Dallas, they're struggling to re-sign Prescott, and him coming off this injury, it's going to be interesting to see how they handle their that quarterback situation. Zach Wilson could head to Dallas. He could head to the Eagles. Either one of those teams would be great. If he goes to Dallas, he could be. That could finally be the answer to Dallas problems.
It'd be dangerous, but I would not want that.
He has so many weapons.
Anyways, at 3, I think we have the same players in top 3, just different organization. At 3, I have Justin Fields. Just like you said, can't deny his greatness here recently. I did move Trey Lance down. Justin Fields hopped him.
So did you have at number 2?
Number 2, I had Zach Wilson. I said I moved Zach Wilson down from 1 to 2, and I put Trevor Lawrence at 1. They kind of switched places, and then Justin Fields hopped up to 3 instead of being at 4. But yeah, Justin Fields, just like you said, that man has a good deep ball. He can run the ball. He has everything. I just think that Zach Wilson has better potential.
That's even the crazier part about Justin Fields. I don't think he has to really rely on his running as much because he's able to throw the ball. And that's why I'm saying, like, if his success translates, if he can throw the ball, if he can stay in the pocket, launch the ball, if he can move out of the pocket and still launch the ball, that's what you want a quarterback. You don't want a quarterback who's going to drop back and have to run, twice on a 4 set of downs. It's not going to work in the NFL because people are going to figure it out when you start going. Coaches are getting real good now, and quarterbacks that are just heavily focusing on running, it's not going to work.
Yeah. I guess I'll go with my number 4 first. I moved Trey Lance down a spot. Like I said, we haven't seen a whole lot from this year. We know the year before, I think he threw 1 or 0 interceptions. Wasn't it 1, I think, the year before?
Yeah, it was no. I think he threw none actually, and then this year he threw.
It was either one or none. Yeah,
I think it was none. I think he threw like 50 touchdowns and no picks, and then this year he threw a pick in that one game he played. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I can't really. I'm not going to judge him off one game like everyone says. Don't judge a player off one game. But I mean, I'm basically judging him off of last season, and he's a top quarterback. There's no denying that. It's just the only problem with him is that he comes from an FCS school, and I know y'all are probably going to say, well, Carson Wentz did. Look at the Carson Wentz situation now.
Yeah.
You can't deny that he was an MVP candidate before he got injured, but I mean, look at the situation now.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that situation. It's kind of sad because I root for Carson Wentz, but at the end of the day, if you don't play good, man, you won't find much success in the league. I mean, look at Dwayne Haskins. He got released on week 17 or 16.
It's just, oh my goodness.
And they're in the playoffs now too, so he's just sitting at home while his team's in the playoffs. That's crazy.
Who you got at number 4?
At number 4, I'm going with this guy, man. Look, I don't know what his potential is. I know for a fact, though, this man can throw the ball. Now, his top 3 receivers may be top 15 draft picks, but this dude is a beast, and that dude is Mac Jones. I got Mac Jones at number 4. I think he was at 5 for me last time. I'm moving him up to 4. This dude's a beast. I'm talking his deep ball is accurate. He makes some questionable throws. I've looked through his film. Sometimes his throws are questionable, but bro, his guys can get him. And then you also got to look at, when you're looking at his yards, look at the yards after catch. I don't know how high it is, but that's something you want to take an aspect too, because you throw to guys like DeVonta Smith or Jaylen Waddle, those yards after the catch are high. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but, they threw a screen pass in the semifinal.
DeVonta Smith, he ran a straight line, and they couldn't even tackle him. This man ran a straight line. Speaking of, I could rule these wide receiver rankings.
We predicted.
We predicted that Heisman Trophy. But, I mean, I don't think we were – I mean, obviously, I feel like everyone kind of knew.
Yeah, everybody knew about
that. Especially after the SEC championship. They're like, this dude DeVonta is just going to win it. It's pretty obvious. But, yeah, Mac Jones, man. I like Mac Jones. Hopefully, he could be in that black and yellow. We need a guy with a deep ball. We got some talent around him. I like Mac Jones, man. I hope to see him have some success in the league. Also, another team that could be looking at Mac Jones, the New England Patriots.
Yeah, I kind of see that happening, honestly.
Because Cam Newton's gone. That business trip's done. Yeah. They need somebody else on the trip. Yep.
Anyways, number 5, I have Mac Jones. It's more of a fact that he does have those top 15 receivers. Or in our honest opinion, he has 2 of the top 6 receivers in this draft on his team. But you can't deny that he does have a good deep ball. He does make questionable throws, but he does have a good deep ball. The reason I have him at 5, though, is because I do see these players above him having probably better careers. But Mac Jones, can't deny that he's great. I mean, he's a Heisman finalist. But, I mean, Alabama quarterbacks traditionally don't translate well to the NFL. I mean, we're looking at A.J. McCarron. He was really good in college. I mean, he had Amari Cooper. He didn't translate well. Dude that I keep forgetting his name. He helped them to the national championship.
Crocker.
Yeah, Jake Coker. He didn't even get drafted, I don't think. If he did, then he was on a practice squad. I'm
100% sure he did. I don't even know who you're talking about.
He played good that season, but I mean, he didn't translate to the NFL.
No.
I mean, there's just several guys that you can name off. But I mean, I'm not going to deny that he's not great. He's a great quarterback, and there is a reason that he has a first-round grade. But, I don't see him translating to the NFL as great as some of these other guys.
Didn't Blake Sims lead them to a national championship? Or no, did they get – that was the year they got, smacked by Ohio State in the semi. Or was that the year they got smacked in the championship?
No, I think
that was – because that was what? No, that was Zeke year.
That was the year they lost to Ohio State in the championship – or in the semifinal.
Okay.
And then next year, Jake Coker.
That was Zeke's
Jake
season.
Coker took them next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at 5, I do have Mac Jones. Who you got at 5?
Number 5, I'm going with Trey Lance. He was at 6 last time. I know what you're thinking, man. Kyle Trask moved from 2 to 6, but yeah, man, I got to move Trey Lance up. I've watched some of his film. This guy's a monster. Now, you look at his strength of schedule, his talent. You also got to consider who's on his team. He's not playing with the best wide receivers. So, when you look at his talent, he's not playing with the best wide receivers in the world, and he's still going against...
But he's also not playing against the greatest competition, though.
Exactly. It's just one of those things you look at. It's a risk-reward, type guy. But I think this guy's a beast. You don't get quarterbacks throwing 50 touchdowns, no picks. You know what I'm saying? That's something you just don't see in football a lot. I think this guy has a lot of upset. This is another guy I'd love to see in that black and yellow. Kevin Colbert, make it happen, please. You know who I wouldn't want to see in black and yellow anymore, though? Randy Finkner. Fire him, please. Get him out, please.
Hey, but we both agree Kyle Trask is probably at the bottom of this list. It's more of the fact that his recent play.
That game against Oklahoma scared me. I wanted this man in black and yellow, but after that game, I don't know. But what did I say in that last quarterback video? I said Kyle Trask needs to go to a team with a great, dominant tight end. Did I not? Kyle Pitts didn't play in this. He didn't play in that game. He didn't have his two top wide receivers. You can't put this guy on a team with no wide receiver weapons.
Let me ask you this: would Kyle Trask to the Raiders work?
Yes. Darren Waller's a beast. Waller's a beast. He's got a speed guy in Henry Ruggs.
Kyle Trask to the Vikings? Even though, obviously, they got Kirk Cousins high paying him.
They got Kirk Cousins, but you need to start looking for someone. They need to find somebody with some better accuracy. Because the Vikings don't have a bad team.
Would you take Kyle Trask over Ryan Tannehill in the Titans system? I think they have Jonnu Smith. He's a pretty good tight end.
Kyle would work.
I don't think
he's worked at this moment.
Most time you're handing the ball to
Ryan
Derrick
Tannehill.
Henry. Yeah, because you're just handing the ball to Ryan or to
Facts.
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry, you're just giving the ball to Derrick Henry anyway, so you really don't got to throw the ball. That RPO is deadly.
Anyways, this is gonna be our second time ranking a position. This position is gonna be the wide receiver. Next one's probably gonna be running backs. And then hopefully, if we can get another one out after the running backs before the draft, I kind of want to do defensive backs.
Ooh, yeah, that's interesting.
I kind of want to do defensive backs.
I got some sleeper defensive backs that I've just been looking at. Guys are dominant.
Okay, so let's rank these wide receivers real quick. Okay, so we have on the list, no particular order, we have Kyle Pitts, DeVonta Smith, Jaylen Waddle, Jamar Chase, Rondale Moore, Rashad Bateman. No particular order just then. These are all just first round guys
who are
that could go in the first round
that
have been projected to go in the first round.
And obviously Kyle Pitts isn't a receiver, but let's just be honest. This dude is a wide receiver playing tight end, so I was like, let's just put him on the list. Might as well.
All right, you want to start at 6 or 1? Let's start at 6. I don't know, because 1's so obvious.
1 is obvious?
Yeah, I feel like it's obvious. I feel like it was obvious. Anyways, all right, we'll start at 6 then. We'll start at 6. We'll start at 6.
We got to start at 6 because I don't know. I don't think mine is obvious.
First. I had Rashad Bateman at 6.
Yeah, me too.
Me personally, I think he opted in this year and then he opted out after they got a couple losses, I think.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I love Rashad Bateman. I think he's a great receiver. I would personally take him to the Packers. I think that'd be a huge pickup for us. But I feel like he's not better than any of these receivers on this list, especially, you say you have him at 6'2", Rashad Bateman, so I'm going to go ahead and say 5 for me real quick. But Rondale Moore at 5, I feel like he's one of those Tyreek Hill, Isaiah McKenzie, who's a guy in college that's like a what's that dude's name? Kadarius Toney type player. You can just get this guy the ball, and he's like a playmaker on an NBA court. Basically, he's a playmaker.
Yeah, and I have a Rondale at 5 too. And it's scary, but there's a scary thing about him. This guy can't stay healthy to save his life. He's an injury-prone guy. This guy healthy though is a threat, man. This guy healthy is a threat. Really? I think he had 100 receiving yards. I think it was sophomore year. That's how long it's been since he's dominated. He led the Purdue Boilermakers to an upset over Ohio State. He dominated that game. Yep. And that was the year Ohio State was really one of the best teams in the nation. No help. He needs help.
Exactly.
He could do some damage in the NFL, but he's got to stay healthy, man.
Honestly,
wishing the best for him. Yeah.
I know this is crazy. They have some players already at wide receiver.
Yeah.
But Rondale Moore to the Falcons would be dangerous. That offense would just turn. I know it's unrealistic. Don't see him drafting a
wide receiver.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. That's why I said it's unrealistic. They already got him. But that would be dangerous.
You say be realistic. What's the Falcons' record? 6-10. They could easily take Rondale early second because he's not going in the first round. I don't think.
Yeah, probably.
I doubt he goes in the first round.
They're probably not gonna draft a wide receiver. What they need to draft is defensive back. Honestly, let's be honest here. They need defensive help. But
I know a perfect.
So you say you have Rondale at 5?
Yeah, these top 4 guys are going in the first round though.
All right, who you got at 4?
I think we can confirm that. At number 4,
who you got at 4?
I got that guy Kyle Pitts, man. I know he's a little low. But these top 3 guys are built different. Now, don't get me wrong. Kyle Pitts is built different too. I call him Jumpman Jordan. You know, Kyle Pitts is just a threat, man. He's dominant. I watched him all season dominate. It was scary to see when they got the lining up against Georgia. You know, he didn't play that whole game. We still lost. But Kyle Pitts is a threat, man. As a tight end, you should not be able to move that fast, move that quick. His ability to jump ball and catch it is fantastic. His route running is great. I like this dude. It's a matchup nightmare. And I know people say that about tight ends a lot, and it gets to the NFL and it doesn't translate. Kyle Pitts is going to translate. He has to translate. It just depends on what team he goes to. I could see him going to a team like the Vikings. That could be that piece that the Vikings need.
I mean, they have Irv Smith, though.
Irv Smith times Kyle Pitts. Make it happen.
That's dangerous. You talking dangerous.
Make it happen.
That's kind of crazy because I also have Kyle Pitts at 4.
Okay, you scared me because you were like holding your breath earlier, so I was like, okay.
He's a beast. You can't doubt him. I mean, after the Oklahoma game, you kind of wonder if he kind of carried Kyle Trask, if we're being honest here. I mean, obviously some of the wide receivers were, out, but I mean, Kyle Pitts he's dangerous. There ain't no denying that. But is he better than these top 3 guys? I don't think so, honestly.
You just can't game plan against him. He's also possibly one of the most dominant red zone threat tight ends I've seen in a while. If they're in the red zone, this guy's open. He's catching the ball. It's true. It's scary. It's a scary sight to be lined up against Kyle Pitts.
Okay, so I know our top 3 is different. I know it is.
I know 100%. It is. Yep, 100%. And
I'll go first then. I'll go first. Okay. At number 3, I have Jamar Chase. And I'll explain why. Yes, he was a Biletnikoff. That's the wide receiver word, yeah. Biletnikoff finalist. He did have Joe Burrow, not going to lie. But, I mean, then again, Justin Jefferson translated well to the NFL. I'm pretty sure Jamar Chase could transition well to the NFL, just like Justin Jefferson. I mean, he has that length. He has that number 1 wide receiver capability. They were amazing together, the duo. You can't deny that. Number 1 and number 2 at LSU. But, I mean, we didn't see him play this year. He opted out. It it hurts your stock and it doesn't at the same time because then, he didn't get injured. But the last time you did see him play, he was Biletnikoff finalist. I think he won it, didn't he? He won it, right?
Yes.
He won the Biletnikoff.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, he won the Biletnikoff the year before. That was with Joe Burrow. The greatest college team ever. But, I mean, these top 2 guys, we seen them play this year. One of them didn't play a full year. But, I mean, I'm looking at his stats right now. In only 4 games, he went sicko mode, I guess you could say. No, just kidding. Anyways,
what are you doing?
But I mean, Jamar Chase, he's great. It's more of the recency bias, I guess you could say. It's more recency bias.
That recency bias isn't going to get me. I got DeVonta Smith at number 3. I know he just won Heisman, but come on now. I'm not going to let that recency bias get to me. I remember how this guys Jamar Chase and Jaylen Waddle play. I got them being. When they get to the league, these guys, I feel like off the rip, they will be better than DeVonta Smith. I know 100%. He just won the Heisman. I know we just watched this guy dominate, but I won't let that recency bias make me forget about Jamar Chase and how dominant the joystick Jaylen Waddle is. I won't forget it. I like DeVonta Smith though. He's untackleable. His route running is crispy. He just finds a way to be open no matter what. You can't single coverage this guy. Like, do I think it'll immediately translate into the NFL? No, but I think over time this guy could become a threat, like Amari Cooper type level threat in the NFL. This guy's got 20 receiving touchdowns, man, and half his touchdowns are he's just open. Like, look at the highlights. Half his touchdowns, this dude's just open. I'm like, how do you have a week to game plan against this team and this man still finds a way to be wide open? Come on, man.
Okay, so this is where it's really going to change up. Number 2, I got DeVonta Smith. He won the Heisman, yes. He has 20 touchdowns, of course. He's a great player. This isn't saying that these top 3 players are like better than each other. We know they're all going to be great in the NFL. It's more of ranking them how we think their career is going to play out, especially in the first year. I feel like my top player, it's obvious now, Jaylen Waddle, will have a better career and a better first year in the NFL than DeVonta Smith. It's more of, DeVonta Smith had 1,641 yards, 20 touchdowns. We know this. He's open all the time. He's an amazing route runner. Alabama's just breeding these wide receivers in a cryogenic tube in the basement of the university at this point.
Effect.
Facts. Anyways, DeVonta Smith, you can't doubt him. I guess I'll just go ahead and cover my number 1 since I've already said it. Jaylen Waddle, this man in 4 games had 557 yards and 4 touchdowns. You can't tell me if he played the rest of that year, he would put up the same exact numbers or even better than DeVonta Smith. You can't tell me that he would.
If he would have played the full season, DeVonta Smith wasn't winning Heisman.
No. Mac Jones would probably win it, honestly.
He wasn't winning Heisman.
Because you'd been splitting the ball between both of them. But I mean, if Jaylen Waddle is in and DeVonta Smith is out, Jaylen Waddle puts the exact same numbers, if not even better, than DeVonta Smith up. And that's just my honest opinion. I think Jaylen Waddle, he has the speed, he has the route running, he has the hands, he has everything you need, I feel like, this year in a wide receiver. That's all I'm going to say about Jaylen Waddle.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going 100% with you. Jaylen Waddle's number 1. Jamar Chase is number 2. But let me tell you, sleep on. Let me tell you why Jamar Chase is over DeVonta Smith. Okay, DeVonta Smith has 100 catches, 1,600 yards. But don't sleep on the fact that this man, Jamar Chase, had just 84 catches to get 1,700 yards. This dude is a beast. He's not as dominant as Jaylen Waddle is, but don't forget, like you said, this guy had Joe Burrow, who possibly could go down as, having the best,
the greatest college quarterback season ever.
Yeah, right. So look, man, Jamar, I'm not going to let, I know he hasn't played a season, but I'm not going to let recency bias make me forget about how dominant Jamar Chase is. And like you said, you talk about him opting out. Maybe it's a good thing he opted out because LSU sucks. So it's a good thing he opted out because he wouldn't have even, I don't even think he would have been that dominant, with the quarterbacks they had on the team. But man, let me talk about this next guy, Jaylen Waddle. We saw him firsthand against Georgia, and it's the thing about when your team's going against Bama, it's so scary because it seems like every game, Jaylen Waddle has one of those like 70, 60-yard touchdowns. It's like it's inevitable to happen every single game.
I mean,
like you just said,
he had over 100 yards per game, and he only played 4 games.
Dude, it's insane. Like this dude is a human joystick. When he touches the ball, he's a threat. I think he could be like. He could be the next Tyreek Hill, but I think he has that potential to be even better. I think he has that potential to be even better because, Tyreek Hill, he can struggle getting his route running, allowing him to get open. Usually he has to use his speed. Jaylen Waddle can get open with his route running. So I'm not gonna let recency bias make me forget about
he can get better with that route running, make a cut, lose you, and then outrun you.
Exactly.
So you're not catching up to him.
If he catches the ball, it doesn't matter if there's 5 guys around him. He's also got that elusiveness with him. His ability to cut, boom, boom, juke you, make you fall, gone, 70-yard touchdown. It's like he can burn you so quick. If you leave one in the NFL, I think guys are going to know immediately. You can't put one guy on him. This guy has to be a top 5 pick. And I think you take any other wide receiver over Jaylen Waddle first, I think you're going to regret it. I think you're going to regret it. Now, they might have 100%. Jumped the gun with Henry Ruggs, like the Raiders. Mm-hmm. But if I'm being honest, I didn't expect Henry Ruggs to actually go to the NFL and actually be that dominant. Jalen Reagor, like, those speed guys that go to the draft and everybody's like, well, we want the next Tyreek Hill. When, to be honest, it's crazy because Tyreek Hill's been playing at a high level for 4 or 5 years now. And there's like no other speed guys in the league as dominant. Jaylen Waddle can be that first guy that can actually match this guy's talent.
Hey,
I'm telling it.
Crazy. It's crazy you say that speed guys are dominating. Jaylen Waddle, he returns back to practice. He's a game day decision for the national championship. Ooh. I feel like this is a huge game changer for the Ohio State Buckeyes, for Shaun Wade's career, I should say. Who do you? Okay, he tweeted out or something. I don't know if he put it on Instagram, tweeted out, but he said, "You know who I want to cover." How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel?
Shaun Wade definitely should have entered the draft last year when his draft stock was high because he dropped his draft stock about 2 rounds this season. I'm talking about just sad. There was a video on making the rounds on social media with him just getting his ankles snapped
against Clemson.
Shaun Wade definitely should have entered the draft last year when his draft stock was high because he dropped his draft stock about 2 rounds this season.
Anyways, we have Ohio State and Bama in the national championship. Yep. I predicted this.
You did predict this. You did predict it. Yep. You did predict it.
You got Ohio State with Justin Fields, Trey Sermon, who's dominating this year. Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson on the offensive side. Yeah. You got Bama. Everybody knows who they got on the. I don't even need to name it. I guess the one guy we haven't talked about, Najee Harris, is on there. That's the one guy we haven't talked about this podcast. But Bama coming in this game 12-0. Ohio State 7-0. Clemson gonna come in and say y'all have only played 6 games. Y'all should be ranked 11th. Y'all are booty. and then they get beat by them. So that puts Ohio State against Bama. I mean, I'm not going to say it's an obvious pick, but I mean, I feel like we know. FPI has Bama winning or not winning. I mean, they do have them winning, but the percentage of them winning is 62.5 compared to Ohio State's 37.5.
Fun fact. How do you feel about this game? Fact. FPI had Ohio State winning before the game. I actually saw that. Yeah, that was the thing. Ohio State had like a 51% chance to win. FPI might be I don't know what they know, but they know. I don't know how, but they knew. I don't know what would have made it think that. But it worked. So maybe start betting with the FBI. And I'm going to bet with FBI this game, man. I'm picking them Bama boys, some SEC, man. Come on. Boys. Look, these guys are dominant. I don't think you can stop DeVonta Smith. Everybody, Ohio State stopped Travis last game, TET. And in a prior video, I said, hey, look, man, ET's the best running back in the league. I still think that, but the fact that Ohio State's defense isn't as dominant and they were still able to stop a guy like ET, that's scary. And that's something I feel like Ohio State's first priority needs to be is at least eliminating DeVonta Smith or Najee Harris. And I'm going to tell you, it's got to be Najee. You got to stop that run game. The pass game now, if it comes down to pass game, Ohio State can easily win this game if they have to rely on Alabama just passing the ball. They got to stop that run game. You can't allow their run game to be dominant. You can't allow that receiving game to be dominant.
I don't know. I would look personally, if I'm Ohio State, I'd rather have the run game. Because if you have DeVonta Smith and Jaylen Waddle out there, and you got Sean Wade getting tripped up by a third string,
if Najee Harris is, if Najee, that makes me think about the Ohio State Northwestern game. Ohio State had no passing game, but their running back still dominated. And this is Najee Harris we're talking about. So let's imagine Najee Harris dominating. Come on.
Yeah, I know. We're talking
about. And then you got to consider if the run game is open, that RPO is going to go stupid. So even if the pass game isn't doing that great, it's going to do just enough to get Alabama down the field and score points.
I mean, either way, Mac Jones on one leg, Najee Harris running without his arms. I'm taking Bama.
Honestly. Ohio State.
I'm not trying to say it's obvious. I wouldn't be surprised if Ohio State lost by 14 only. But I feel like Bama's gonna win this one.
Look,
I feel like they're gonna. It's gonna look dominant. I feel like it's gonna look dominant.
I don't want Ohio State fans to hate me or light up that pack, but listen to me, man. Ohio State, 8-ounce steak. New state, Bama by 20, man. Come on. Bama's just too dominant this year. They've got, and you telling me if Jaylen Waddle plays, which I doubt he will, if anything, he'll line up just to be kind of like a distraction. But I don't see him actually coming in and really playing, kind of like DeAndre Swift against Baylor last year. Just coming in to kind of be a distraction. I don't think he'll really play much. But look, man, I like Ohio State. I think this game will come down to who can. If Ohio State plays offense, if it's not even Ohio State, if Justin Fields, if this game relies on Justin Fields, it's not Ohio State because we know Sermon's going to cook. Bama's run D isn't that great. We know Sermon's going to cook. We know those receivers going to get open besides, maybe one guy because they got Patrick Surtain on that other side. As long as his controller doesn't die like it did against who was it? Florida. I think it was Grimes caught that touchdown and Surtain just kind of stopped playing football for a moment. Controller batteries died. Ohio State's going to score points.
Yeah.
But you got to be careful because you never know what Nick Saban's going to have up his sleeve, and that's a scary factor. Ryan Day, he's still kind of like that new guy on the block. You know what I'm saying? So he's a great coach. He definitely hasn't reached that level of dominance yet where I'm like, hey, he's that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think obviously when he wins a championship,
he's how I thought of Lincoln Riley a couple years ago.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, you can't really trust this coach yet.
You can't trust him yet.
I can sort of trust Lincoln Riley a little bit more now. I can't trust Ryan Day yet. Not yet.
I still don't trust Lincoln Riley. I feel like he still
I trust
needs
him
to
a
do
little
more.
bit,
Hasn't made
just a little bit.
Still has to make it to a championship. He's slacking.
I trust him. You
talent
playing
he's had.
He's playing Bama, LSU, Clemson. Anyway, Ryan Day, he is the new kid on the block. He took over after a legendary coach in Urban Meyer. I feel like he's been doing a good job personally. Obviously, he hasn't won a championship yet, but again, he's the new kid.
His second year.
But yeah, like you were saying, Justin Fields has to play out of his mind this game. Honestly, look, let's be honest. If Justin Fields plays out of his mind, win or loss for Ohio State, Justin Fields' stock in the draft is going to rise. It's going to rise heavily. Like, if he plays amazing this game, it might shore him up to be the second pick.
This is his final game.
Yeah, exactly. It might shore him up to be the second pick.
Yeah, a dominant game. I think right now he could already be the second pick.
Yeah, I feel like there's a huge chance that he could be.
Yeah, because you don't have any like defensive play. Like last year was Chase Young.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Where you're like, this guy has to go second. This year, I'm like, it has to be Justin Fields.
Yeah.
If you need a quarterback, which the Jets do, they need a dominant quarterback. Sam Darnold's good, but he's just not as dominant as you need a quarterback to be now in the NFL. So it's really going to come down to Justin Fields and for Ohio State this game. I'm not going to say Ohio State doesn't have a chance because, fun fact, I actually think Ohio State can win this game.
Do. I mean,
look,
it's just, I said they could beat Clemson.
Stop.
They beat Clemson.
You got a lot of people you need to stop.
They have a huge. I don't think anybody's giving Ohio State enough credit. I feel like their run game, it's unstoppable. I mean, look, bro, they played 7 games. Trey Sermon, even though he has 4 rushing touchdowns, he almost has 1,000 yards.
Trey Sermon is a beast, and you gotta think they had that short season.
Yeah, exactly. And like Trey Sermon's been dominating this year. Chris Olave, he's that guy at Ohio State at the receiver position. They also have Garrett Wilson, who's playing really good.
Garrett Wilson.
But I mean, this game just relies on Justin Fields. He didn't play his best in the Big Ten championship. He played great against Clemson. If he could translate what he played against Clemson to this Bama team and possibly play a little bit better, he's shoring up the number 2 overall pick. And there's a chance Ohio State wins this game. That's why I'm saying it's not as obvious as a pick as everyone would think it'd be. I'm still going to take Bama, but it's not obvious.
Look, Justin Fields just took down the second place vote getter in the Heisman.
Mm-hmm.
This week he's going to take down the guy who won it. I'm just kidding, Bama. I still got Bama.
Okay.
I still got Bama. I don't think Bama will play as dominant though. I think Bama will score. I think it'll be 28-17 Bama.
I'm gonna say 42-31.
Did you just agree with me when I said they're not gonna play as dominant, and then you say they're gonna score 41 points?
I mean, I feel like this game is gonna be an offensive game. That's what I feel like they're gonna play 42.
Yeah, I want to say that, but I just don't think Nick Saban's gonna allow that to happen.
Feel like
at all.
Like Justin
you got to consider he was very disappointed on that Notre Dame side.
No, hold on, wait. I'm changing my score. 35-28. Yeah, 35-28. 35-28.
7-point game.
Yeah, 35-28.
Like I said, man, one thing you don't want to face in college football is an angry Nick Saban the week after, and he was very pissed off in that semifinal. So
yeah, I can't hear you. So stop asking.
Good luck, Ohio State.
Goodness! Look,
you got an
Ohio
unstoppable
State,
DeVonta Smith.
We
possibly the best running back in the league in the nation, in Najee Harris.
You have a great
Jaylen Waddle could be returning. Lord help him. He's cleared too. That's the thing.
Yeah,
it's up to him if he wants to play. He's cleared. He's medically cleared.
Yeah,
he could play.
Like we've said this before. Ohio State's playing with a chip on their shoulder. They're hungry for this. I know Justin Fields. He's kind of hungry. He's more hungry than anybody else on Ohio State. He wanted to play this year.
Justin Fields is starving.
He was the main one striving for the Big Ten to play. He's obviously proved that he wanted to play, especially last game they played against Clemson. He proved that he's supposed to be here. They're playing with a chip on their shoulder. They're hungry for a championship. So I think they can pull it off, but I'm still taking Bama 35-28.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely think Ohio State
they have a chance.
Has a chance. Yeah.
All right, but
so anyways, I'm gonna give it to him.
Yeah, that's been the table talk. We went over quarterback rankings. We re-ranked them for y'all. Wide receiver rankings. Let us know if y'all agree with that. Let us know if y'all agree with our quarterback rankings. Y'all kind of hating on the last ones here recently just because of some recent games. But I mean, hey, maybe y'all agree with them now. Wide receiver rankings. Let us know if you agree with those. Championship preview. Who you think is gonna win? Give us a score prediction down below if you really want to. Honestly, we'll love to see that. But anyways, it's your boy Kid and Kam. Peace.
See ya.